Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be doing a speculation as to what the next Ravaged Realm boss for Chains of Eternity season could be. And this is a really interesting video idea. I got the idea from Rek, who uploaded a video a bit earlier about different possibilities for the Ravaged Realm boss, and one of them stuck out in particular, and his name is Novik. And I'm going to talk about why I think it is fairly likely that he will be the Ravaged Realm boss. Okay, now if you take a look at this enemy sort of collection that we have here, you can see that the bosses are usually going to be at the bottom of this list. Like we have the Primal Lords, for example, Nocturne Judicator and Mirage Frostspike. We even have Plague Creeper and Cray Shellbrute. And we have the two previous Ravaged Realm bosses, which are Thalassa and then also Set Sahara. Now the thing is, Thalassa was actually seen in the Waves of Intrigue season story missions before we actually had her revealed as a Ravaged Realm. And the same thing is true for Novik. He was available in the story, we battled him. However, we don't know if he's actually going to be the Ravaged Realm boss, but I'm just trying to draw like the similarities between Thalassa and him. Set Sahara, I believe, I can't really remember correctly. I don't think we ever were exposed to it. It was kind of like an all-new boss when it came out for Ravaged Realm. So, I mean, that is always a possibility as well. There may not even be an entry for the Ravaged Realm boss in this enemy like diary as of right now. So, it could be something we've never seen before. But I think that Novik has a relatively decent chance of being chosen as well. If you see like his location in the enemy diary is right up against the other bosses for Dream Realm. For example, Lucia, we have Snowstomper, we have Necrodraken. But anyway, Novik is right here. So the interesting thing about him when we look at his skills, again, Rek pointed this out, which is that his Shadow's Embrace ability is very kind of like an elaborate skill effect, which actually had no effect in the story mission, because in the story battle, you can't activate faction talents. And this will have like a bonus basically effect when you have a hero with faction talents attacking Novik. But this would never be able to trigger in the regular story mission. So this was something which doesn't make sense how they would give a boss or basically an enemy this type of effect, but you cannot actually ever trigger the factional tile part of it. And when you look at this ability, it sounds like something which really lends itself towards like either a boss quanta in Dream Realm or even Ravaged Realm. Because read this, Shadow's Embrace at the start of battle and 45 seconds in, summons a protective sigil, reducing damage taken by 80% as long as the sigil is active. That's a massive damage reduction. That's basically the same damage reduction as the maximum fury stacks of Orson, if I remember correctly. Okay, but carrying on, we have that the sigil will expire after taking 200 hits, which probably means 200 different ticks of damage from multiple sources, whether you have a multi-hit ability, whether you have probably Bonnie or Odie's damage per second, or if you have any sort of damage, AoE damage, which is triggering every 0.5 second, every 0.25 second, anything something like that. I think would probably trigger as a hit. But you need 200 hits in total, but now attacks from the enemy's prime carrier or the faction talent will count as 5 hits each. And that is really powerful. Like basically as a way of reducing the hits needed to break the shield. So looking at this ability, I do believe that this is really something you could see in Ravaged Realm or Dream Realm. Thalassa actually had a similar sort of damage reduction ability that when she was in her red state, she would take more damage, but when she's in her green state, she will take less damage. And when you take a look at Thalassa's skill description in the enemy diary, it is kind of missing out on some key components that she had in Ravaged Realm and also in Dream Realm. And so I feel like the heroes who are listed over here, if any does turn out to be a Ravaged Realm, they could have even more detailed skills when we actually see them. But this one, Shadow's Embrace, definitely it triggers something. It feels like I could definitely see him being a boss, if not even, for example, Ravaged Realm, he could be a Dream Realm boss for the next season. But anyway, his other abilities are nothing too amazing, like dealing AoE damage and stunning for in one-tile arc. So basically, melee heroes are going to be frontal enemies are going to be stunned. That is another important effect. And then he causes the enemy who has the highest cumulative damage to have a 15% attack reduction, which is going to decrease the damage output by a little bit. And then you have more AoE damage with no other main debuff here. And then he has a lot of orbs that he will use and strike you with. But again, this is just damage. So who knows, maybe some enhancements to these skills will happen if he does become a Dream Realm boss or if he is a Ravaged Realm boss. But I just thought this was really interesting and it got me thinking about how are we going to prepare for Ravaged Realm right now? So there's certain heroes which come to mind, or basically we were on the fence about the new heroes released in this season. Now, I think Faramor, no matter what boss we get, will probably see a lot of use because of the fact that he's really good even in Dream Realm. Heroes which are good in Dream Realm, they'll definitely be carrying over to Ravaged Realm and probably will be a good option when you're limited on how many heroes you can bring in. And probably Lenya also is going to be great. I think Lenya has multi-hits on some of her abilities that will also, like, for example, if we do need to get to that 200 hits, if Novik is the boss, then Lenya will be good at that. The other thing is Bryon. So Bryon this season hasn't been great because he doesn't have a great charm set. In the previous season, he had a charm set to increase the damage that the whole team dealt onto his target. Now, in this season, he doesn't have that. And so, like, he's hardly been used anywhere. When, like, in the previous season, he was using Guild Supremacy boss a lot, Glyphshade. So, but here, the thing is, Bryon has multi-hits. He has a bunch of hits in his kit. Like, for example, Leafblade Gale is a 4-hit attack. Him and Eleanor, his, like, Falcon, they both attack at the same time. And also this one, Bryon's normal attacks and skills deal 2 damage 2 times, basically 2 free attacks each attack that he lands. But if it is that we need to do a lot of hits and you want to cap out the hits from Bryon, probably even Ruthless Charms would be the best, giving him more attack speed and then crit for the damage. Eagle Charms generally do seem good though, because they give him ultimate power and that reduces like his energy summoning cost of Eleanor. But yeah, that was something that came to mind. Maybe Bryon will have some potential use, but I think Faramor definitely will be good. I don't think Lorsan is going to be good, honestly. Because he just doesn't do that much and he's linking people, and linking is only valuable if there are multiple enemies. If there is a Ravaged Realm boss that has multiple enemies, then AoE damage dealers like Lorsan maybe will have some use. But if it's something like Novik and it's just a single boss, I really doubt that Lorsan will actually be a good option. But for the Light Bearers, the thing is, Hugin will definitely be good. But Cyran is a new hero we've got in this season. And I think Cyran will actually be good. Because when you take a... If we do need to do multiple hits, right? Because he is an AoE damage dealer. His single target damage isn't great. But if you look at his ultimate ability, it is going to attack for 5 seconds. And every 0.25 seconds is going to be hitting a tick of damage, right? And so that means every second that's 4 hits. And in 5 seconds, that's 20 hits in total. Just from casting his ultimate. And of course, while he's casting, he's going to be doing a lot more. He has these 3 magic orbs. And then he has some other basic, like, some other attacks. So he could be another way of actually removing that sigil, that protective sigil. So that's another idea that basically could potentially work. And if there's any AoE targets that Cyran can hit, then he will probably be really good for Ravaged Realm. But Lightbearer heroes are really, really strong for Ravaged Realm. Like, they have Merrily, Sonya, Corrin, Sinbad, Hugin, Cassidy. Insane single target damage, and then probably a couple of Celestial Hypogenes will also be thrown into the mix, and then you might not have room for Cyran. So Cyran's actually competing with a really difficult faction. So, but if there's AoE targets, or if he needs to break the shield with enough hits, I think he could have some use. And then the other heroes we have Valka. We have Valka, and I think Shamira. So Shamira we don't know about yet. We don't know if she's going to be good. But I think just basically Valka is going to be used for attack speed buff for your allies. Oh, that's also going to help you break the shield or break a sigil if you need to do a certain number of hits. Having higher attack speed is a great way to do that. That is something interesting. But even if it isn't that boss like Novik, if it's something else, then I definitely think Valka is going to have a lot of use. Attack speed buff to increase your team damage. And then also her own true damage, which is pretty high. That is going to be good for this Ravaged Realm, whichever one we face. So this is basically just a speculation video on who it could be. And I do think Novik, it's most likely that Novik is going to be the one. But that doesn't mean that it's guaranteed. I think out of all the options we've seen so far, currently revealed in the story, Novik does seem like the most likely. But that doesn't mean it's going to be it. Because like with Setsahara, it was a completely... I don't think it was ever before seen before it came out in Ravaged Realm. And there are some other heroes here, like there's this Sigmund. So anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this video. And again, credit to Rek, and I'll leave a link to his video in the description of this video as well if you want to check it out as well. And he goes through other different options it could be for the Ravaged Realm boss, but I'm just kind of sticking to Novik because I don't know. I just have a feeling that it's going to be... I find it most likely it's going to be him. Even his whole design looks like something that could be a boss for Ravaged Realm. I can definitely imagine that. But let's see. I'm excited about it. Let me know your opinions in the comment section down below. And we will make a video recapping the top used Ravaged Realm heroes from the previous season in the Thalassa boss. Now, it doesn't mean they will directly translate and carry over to this season and Ravaged Realm, whichever one we get. But hopefully, I'll give you a good idea of which heroes to prepare for. And also, we'll talk about which charms were optimal on those heroes, because I have a whole infographic that I covered when I made the best charm videos for Thalassa. I just took the infographic from that video, so I will make a video about that, so look forward to that. But thank you guys for watching. That's gonna be it for this one. I hope hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please smash that subscribe button. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers, and we're really close thanks to all of your support. Also, feel free to join my AFK Journey Discord server. There's a link to that in the description of this video, and I look forward to chatting with you guys there. But thank you for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.